Hey y'all, I'm Squid, and I got something so intense for you today. This battle has ups, downs, good plays, had me sweating. It's as graceful as like a summer's breeze. It's beautiful. Now, today I'm playing a kid, you may know him. His name is TheDonphanatic. He is an up-and-coming, growing PokeTuber right now, and definitely a very well-played, low-tier Pokemon man, if you would. Now, today we are playing PU, now it's known as BU, but it's pretty much the same thing, just with some extra Pokemon in. Now, today, I'm bringing with me Miss Mabel, because I love my girl, Miss Mabel. Gave her a nice choice scarf, keep her warm. Now we have Ferroseed, just to set up hazards, and I do have T-Wave on it as well, which is going to be pretty big in this game. I wanted to try out the Agility Kingler because I really want to see this thing succeed. I'm also bringing a Choice Banded Ninjask, just because I really do enjoy the set. It really does take people off guard because they're so used to, you know, Protect, Sub, Swords Dance, Baton Pass, stuff like that. I like to bring Rotom with me just because I do enjoy myself a good Rotom. And finally, I'm going to bring the Quick Feet Ursaring because it's just one of my favorite Pokemon because it's such a huge threat in this tier. Now, the TheDonphanatic is bringing some stuff that I'm not really too familiar with. He's bringing a Superior. I really have not seen much of this, and it actually comes in play. My lack of knowledge really turns out almost against me in the end. So we will see what happens. There's also a Walrein. Walrein, I just know, are big walls. All that I've seen is like Super Fang, Sub, Toxic, stuff like that. So I'm not really what his is gonna do if it's any different. There was a Stantler. I've only seen one Stantler in my life, and that's MBZ's Stantler, the Mantler, a Stantler of legendary proportions. There is a Magmar. I am fearing the Magmar a little bit because the last time I played the TheDonphanatic, this thing like pretty much wrecked my face, and so I was pretty much fearing that. There is a Hippopotamus. I believe that is the name of this Pokemon. And then finally he has an Electabuzz, which usually runs Scarf. So I wasn't really too positive what it was going to do. So I really want to get into this battle. It's so crazy. It's incredible. Now to lead off, I was hoping that he wouldn't lead off with the Hippopotamus. I'm just going to call him Little Hippo because I'm not sure if my name is correct for him. So I'm going to end up leading off with Miss Mabel because I didn't want him to lead off with that. So I figured I'd lead off with Miss Mabel, and if I was wrong in predicting his lead, and he did lead off with the Hippo and set up Stealth Rocks, I could just switch in my Ninjask to begin. However, I'm Scarfed, he's Scarfed, he goes for Volt Switch. I wanted to check because I didn't want to go for Trick first turn. I'm tricking a Scarf because that would, first of all, be pointless, and second of all, if he wasn't Scarfed, the last thing I want to do is give him a Scarf because he'd become that much more of a threat. So he's going to end up Volt Switching out to the Walrein, and he's going to take the Psychic damage well. I realize this thing really can't, you know, do too much to me, so I'm going to end up going into Rotom, and he's going to end up double switching right back out into his Electabuzz. Now, at this point, I totally forgot that Electabuzz even gets Focus Blast, and apparently the TheDonphanatic is like 100% accuracy crazed for Focus Blast. It almost never misses for him. This is the second time I've played him, and I think that's like the fourth one he's hit in a row. Crazy. So I'm going to end up taking the hit, one because I didn't really know what was happening, and two because I thought he was probably going to switch out and nothing really wants to take a Will-O-Wisp. So I do get the Will-O-Wisp off. That does help greatly against the Electabuzz just because I need residual damage because I cannot outspeed it. He's going to go for another Focus Blast. I will be able to switch in Miss Mabel here because I do have Natural Special Bulk, and I also resist the hit. And also there's a possibility that he could have missed, but it being the TheDonphanatic, that really doesn't even seem relevant. So now I know he's forced to switch here. I am going to go for the Trick. Now he's going to end up bringing the Walrein. Now the Walrein is pretty much going to be crippled at this point because what's a Scarf Walrein really going to do? Now I'm going to end up switching out here because first of all I don't know what he's going to do, and I know these things carry Toxic, so I'm going to end up going into my Ferroseed here. Turns out he's going to go for a really tricky play. He's going to try and Encore me into Switcheroo to take my Scarf back. However, it doesn't work out for him because I do switch out. Now I know nothing on his team is going to want to take a T-Wave, and I didn't think he'd want to switch in the Electivire because I do resist his attacks, and I don't think he's going to want to play around with Focus Blast missing. So I am able to paralyze the Magmar, and I am able to switch out to Miss Mabel as my pivot point. Now, I thought maybe by some chance Miss Mabel may have been able to take it just because of her natural bulk. Unfortunately, he shows me that he is Life Orb, so Miss Mabel is not going to be able to live that, so she's going to take a seat back in her rocker on the sidelines and watch the rest of this match. Now, with that being said, I see a chance here. The Magmar is paralyzed, and I can bring in my Ursaring, EQ and outspeed, and then get my Toxic Boost after that. So I pretty much got a free kill and a free Toxic Boost for my Quick Feet activation. Now he brings the Walrein back in. I'm not sure what it's going to do, so I am going to end up switching out because he really cannot do anything to my Ferroseed in the first place. But he is going to go for Protect, pretty much just to go for a Scout and to burn a turn of Toxic. Now he does see an opportunity here to go into his Hippotas, so I can go for the Spikes. And now I have this inclination that he's going to set up Rocks, and I really want to get Ninjask in before Rocks because I want to be at least get one hit off before I can go for or before I get cut down to 50%. So he does end up going for the Stealth Rock here. I go for the Choice Banded Aerial Ace. I was thinking going for Giga Impact and then just get Whirlwind out. However, I really didn't feel like that was a necessary risk to take at the time. So now he Whirlwinds me in one of the best Pokemon he could have. He Whirlwinds me into my Kingler. Now I have an opportunity here to knock off his Eviolite, or if he wants to switch, I can knock off any item that his Pokemon's holding. He makes a very good play here. He's going to go into Walrein, and it's going to allow me to knock off his Choice Scarf. Now, with the Choice Scarf gone, he's no longer locked, and he can be a nuisance. Now, I'm going to end up going for a Rock Slide as well, because the knockoff did a lot of damage. And now I can hit him with a super effective Rock Slide. So that was a really good series of play that he had in mind. However, I am just too powerful for that to happen, and I end up taking him out. Now the Superior comes in. I don't want anything to do with this. He's going to end up taking advantage of the fact that I don't want to stay in, and he's going to go for a Swords Dance. Now, I do directly, phase him out right here. He doesn't want anything to do. I could definitely OHKO him. At the time, I had no idea that Superior had base 113 speed. So really, my check to him is going to be the Ninjask, and I didn't know that at the time. But I really had to phase it out because that thing definitely could have done massive damage to my team. So I'm going to just go for the U-turn because I know he doesn't want to stay in. But at the time of the battle, I had no idea what was going on. So I'm going to save it for Death Fodder later on. And I am going to be able to now attack the Hippowdon with a Facade. I was hoping that the Facade would take it out from this range. I know these guys are really bulky, especially with the Eviolite. So I was a little scared, but it was something I had to go for. So I will be able to take it out. Now he's going to want to go into his Electabuzz pretty much to scare me out. Now I don't know if he wants to go straight for a Focus Blast or if he wants to go for a Volt Switch. And I don't want my Ursaring taking damage regardless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch in my Ninjask, and I will sacrifice him off just to see what he wants to lock himself into so I could go into the most appropriate switch. Now he does want to go into the Volt Switch. That is an easy decision for me because I will be able to go into the Ferroseed here, and I will take that Volt Switch beautifully, and that will give me a chance to T-Wave one of his other two Pokemon that are left. It's going to be either the Stantler or the Superior. Now, I thought maybe he'd want to let the T-Wave happen to the Superior just because I didn't know the base speed was that quick. So I was a little confused on why he went to Stantler, but after the battle I found out why he sent Stantler in. I understand why he was doing that. Now he is going to end up going for a Jump Kick here, and he is going to end up getting a critical hit. I'm like, alright, that's okay. And now my decision here was, do I go for another layer of Spikes, or do I go for a Leech Seed? And I thought, alright, I can Leech Seed it. Maybe I can get a little bit of health back. He'll keep losing health to the Iron Barbs. Unfortunately, I ended up giving him the Sap Sipper boost. I wasn't aware, or my lack of knowledge, really, of looking at Stantler was that I didn't know he got Sap Sipper. So that kind of sucks because now the one thing I really had as a good wall against the Electabuzz is now been foddered off. I would have much rather had Ferrothorn over the Rotom, because after it had died, I could have fought this off, went into Ursaring and gone from there. However, I do end up hitting a Blizzard, and then he gets paralyzed on the jump kick that would take me out, and then I'm able to go for a T-Wave and take it out the next turn. So that little unfortunate series of events really ends up helping me out, and really kind of gives me a momentum swing here. Now, I am pretty much forcing him into the Focus Blast missing game. Now, it actually works out in my favor. He does end up missing a Focus Blast here, so I am able to go for a T-Wave, and now the burn is going to take him down, so that on the turn after this, it's going to end up being, he's going to end up dying. So if he ends up missing another Focus Blast here, then I will be able to have my Rotom with me as well, and I'll be able to wall the Superior for, a little bit, because I don't know what other attacks it have. I just know it has Leaf Blade. So he is going to hit the Focus Blast, and he is going to end up going down now to the burn. So now he's down to his last Pokemon, and this is where the knowledge of Superior would have really been useful, because I know it's Life Orb. I didn't know it was that fast, so I'm thinking I'm just going to bring in Ursaring here, and I'm going to be perfectly fine. I'm really no problems. I'll just outspeed him. Turns out he has base 113 speed, and he outspeeds me. And now if I die here, which I don't, thankfully, I live on 5%, and that is humongous, because if I didn't live and hit this facade and take him out for the game, he would have been able to two-hit KO, and he would have pretty much won, because from his range of health, with an item on him, I believe knockoff only does about 50%, so it definitely was an extremely narrow 2-0, but I had a lot of fun with this. Be sure to check out his channel. He does post up good, intense battles, so I'll leave his link in the description below. Definitely a good game. Had a lot of fun with this one. I kind of wish I would have recorded it live, because the reactions, and I was sweating, and I was like, oh man, my heart was palpitating ridiculously fast. But awesome battle. Stay tuned for more Wi-Fi battles and all that other jazz. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.